Hello, welcome to all students who are preparing for Bank PO exams in 2022. Now, this session is geared towards helping you utilize the next 4 months. Now, what is the significance of next 4 months? Look at the IBPS PO calendar. It says that in October there would be prelims and in November last week there would be mains, right? So, according to this calendar, what we see is that from today another 4 months and we would be done with our IBPS PO exam. Now, obviously SBI PO is also going to come, right? Either this month end or next month the notification of SBI PO would come, and when it comes the exam of SBI PO would also happen in and around IBPS PO exam or a little later than what the IBPS PO exam would happen. So, all in all, in the next 4 months, if we are able to prepare ourselves well, then we would have a great shot at both these exams, both IBPS PO and SBI PO. So, utilizing your next 4 months becomes priority number 1 of ours, right? Okay. So, therefore, this is what we are going to do today. Now, how are we going to do that? If you have noticed that a lot of times while preparing, we end up doing things that we shouldn't be doing. Later on we realize that those are the areas in our preparation that went wrong, right? And that's why we couldn't get as much as we could. Now, we are going to address the main mistakes that candidates make while preparing for Bank PO exam, or for that matter any exam. So, mistakes to avoid, and in the process we would also look at what should we do instead of doing that mistake. How should we orient ourselves so that we get the benefit of the situation and not the loss of that particular situation. And by the end of today's session you would know how to organize your preparation. Okay? Needless to say, this session would be helpful for anyone who is going to start preparation as of now from today, but it would also help them who have been preparing for a while now. And also, you see, if you guys are preparing with us in our programs, in our courses, you would be guided in an organized manner in your program only, so that you do not commit this mistake the first time only, right? You do not commit the mistake only, right? But then if you are preparing by yourself, then it makes a lot of sense for you to know that these mistakes can happen and therefore avoid them from happening when you are studying by yourself, right? So, what are these mistakes? Mistake number 1. You see, we as candidates, when we start preparation, we think this exam to be 2 separate exams. One is pre, another is mains, right? Now, the market also talks to you about that preparation for pre, preparation for mains. Mains is a different exam, mains is a more difficult exam, pre is a speed based exam. So, all of these are there in the market doing rounds. Now, what is the problem with this? Why is this a mistake? My dear friends, understand that it is one exam and there are 2 stages to it, pre and mains. You do not have separate concepts for pre and separate concepts for mains, right? Yes, there might be some cases where the type of questions arising from a particular topic may differ in the difficulty level based on the exam that you are taking. Right, in pre it might be a little easier and in mains it might be more difficult in some topics, right? But for that too you need to prepare the concepts first. So, there is no separate concept for pre kind of questions and mains kind of question. Don't waste your time in doing that, right? Also, this kind of thought process makes you think that I do not clear mains and therefore I should only be preparing for mains, or I am pretty good at pre, therefore I should not be taking much cognizance about pre. All of these thoughts come to you if you believe in this philosophy that pre and mains are 2 separate exams. What you need to believe is that the topics that come in pre and mains have some basic concepts that needs to be done whether you are taking pre or mains or both, right. Once they are done, yes, then you can go ahead and prepare for pre-level questions if there is a difference, because in a lot of cases you would see that there is no difference in difficulty level of pre and mains questions. In some topics there are, and for that you need to sit with the kind of questions that have come in pre and mains and analyze them, right. In our YouTube classes, in our programs classes, we do that for you. And you must have seen that in many areas there are differences, in many areas there are not. And if you are doing it by yourself, you need to understand that, and based on the differences for pre-level questions in those areas where it comes different, practice them, and for mains level question, practice them, and in those areas where the difference is not much, you need to practice them anyways, right, in any form. So, manage your practice accordingly, but the concepts, the main idea here is that the concepts, the basics needs to be done both for pre and mains, and they are the same. If someone is telling you that for pre there is a separate set of concept and mains there is a separate set of concept, my dear friend, it is not such. So, mistake number 1, preparing for pre and main separately. Don't do that. Prepare for the concepts and you would automatically get prepared for both pre and mains. Okay? Next, mistake number 2, what candidates do. A lot of candidates take one subject at a time and just focuses on their weak areas, or it can be or also, some candidates take one subject at a time, some candidates focus on their weak areas only, right. So, this is one way of preparing, right. But 4 months to the exam, that should not be the way of preparing. 1 month to the exam, there are some weak areas which you could not develop even after giving time for to them, and then you choose those areas to give less importance and focus on your strengths more. 1 month to the exam, that is okay. And that also your weak area shouldn't be more than 10-20% of the whole paper, right. Then it is okay for Bank PO paper if you are preparing. But if at the start of the preparation only you classify that these 2 areas are my strength and these 5 areas are my weak areas, I will focus more on my strength and not on my weak areas, then you would never be in the race of the competition, right. So, don't do that. And taking one subject at a time, how is that problematic? It is problematic in this way that you are required to take all the sections at the same time. So, let us say you give more focus to quant first, right. The next 1 month, 1.5 months, you give more focus to quant, and then you give focus to English, right. And in the meantime, when you are doing English, because you are not able to focus on quant, therefore you would see after 1 month of English, when you come back to quant questions or you take your mocks, you would end up in a situation where you are not able to do the questions properly, though you had been able to do the questions properly when you did them at the first time. This happens even if you are balancing all your topics, because that's why you feel that you need to revise a lot, right. Why does it happen? Because as time progresses and you learn more and more new things, the old things, I will not say get wiped off, but feel a little problematic to remember the concepts and apply them in the questions as time passes. How do we solve it? We will discuss it in the next slide, but that problem would be complicated further if you take one subject at a time to prepare. That means that I will give 1 month to quant, 1 month to logical reasoning and 1 month to English. If you do that, then that would be over complicated. So, how do you do that? Your week, if not day, your week should be divided in such a way so that you are able to focus on quant, reasoning, English, all the 3 subjects, okay, right. So, here another thing that you need to understand is that your feeling should not guide your preparation. What should guide your preparation is objective data, right, and the requirement of the exam. So, the requirement of the exam is that all these three areas are equally important. So, you need, if not equal amount of time, obviously quant takes more amount of time, but if not equal amount of time, substantial time needs to be given to all the three sections. Okay. As far as general awareness is concerned for the the mains, for that we have already done a session. I will give the link of that session in here. You would know how to prepare for general awareness in detail. Okay. So, give every subject its due. Now, mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is interesting because a lot of good students end up doing this mistake, and that is start taking mocks from day 1 left, right, center. Now, what do I mean by that? You see, a lot of students, previous students, people who have cracked this exam would tell you mocks are very important, mocks are very important, and they would be right. But a preparation cannot be based out of mocks. Okay. So, mocks are important, no doubt about it, but there is a right time to take it. So, you can take one mock at the start of your preparation to see where you stand, right? And based on where you stand, you have an idea about yourself, and then plan accordingly your preparation, but don't take regular mocks at this point of time. If you are starting your preparation now, right, do your concepts, have an understanding of the practice that you need to do for pre and mains, and then when you are ready, right, when it is right time, then start taking mocks. Now, you would say, sir, even till the exam I might not be ready, so then should I not take any mocks? No, obviously not. You cannot delay taking mocks to after one extent. So, what is the right time to take mocks? See, 1.5 months to the exam, you need to take mocks. You need to analyze those mocks. Most importantly, we have been talking about analysis of mocks a lot on our channel. So, go and visit those lectures. You know how to analyze your mocks, because taking mocks is not important. Taking mocks and analyzing them is what is the most important thing. Okay, right. So, 1.5 months to the exam, you should start doing it and do it. But if you are a student who has been already preparing for some time now, and you are already done with the majority part of your concepts, can you take your mocks now? Yes, obviously you can take your mocks now, but don't overdo it. Every week one mock would do, right? If you are done with everything, then every week 2 mocks would be enough. Why am I saying not to overdo it? Because you know what happens, you have a long period till the exam. So, if you overdo your taking of mocks, a lot of times, even without right reason, you might develop self-doubt. That I would not want to happen with you. This is for those who are already preparing for some time and they are prepared to much of the extent of preparation that they should be. For them, mocks is necessary to be taken. They can take it from now or 1 month from now, but don't overdo it. Okay, right? So, that was mistake number 3, and what you should do instead. Now, the last mistake, having over expectations from yourself. And you know what is the result? The result is that you get frustrated, you get overwhelmed in the first 15-20 days of your preparation. Now, this is especially for those who are starting now, whether it is in our batch or whether it is by yourself. If you are starting now, you will need to understand one thing very, very clearly, that changes would not happen overnight, not even in a fortnight. Changes would take time. You know, I'll tell you instances. I'll tell you instances where students who have cleared Bank PO exams, SBI PO exams, IBPS PO exams, they even 10 days to the exam, they were not performing in mocks, right? But they patiently went on doing and followed what we said and ended up getting good scores in the actual paper, right? This also happens. So, yes, mocks and your ability while you are sitting in the home matters, right? But what matters most is your conceptual clarity, your ability to apply your concepts in questions. If that is getting developed, even if you are not able to perform in one or the other mocks or in one or the other kind of questions, don't be overwhelmed, don't get frustrated. And know this for sure, that in the first 15-20 days, nothing is going to change drastically for you, right? Because that change or the transformation takes time to build up. Some are lucky to see it in the first 1.5 to 2 months of their preparation. Some are see it after 3 to 4 months, in the 3 to 4 months of their preparation. But it comes if you sincerely keep up to it. It comes. Okay. So results take time to come. So have patience. That's very important. It's better to not try and focus on the results, but try and focus on the learning that you get. That's why I said in my intro lessons also, I say that enjoy learning. Why do I say so? Because when you are enjoying one part of the process, you might ignore the other part of the process. Yes, results are important, and I am not saying that you do not focus on your results. You do not analyze your marks because results are not important. No, I am not saying that. What I am saying is that don't leave in between just because you are not able to get good scores in mocks or in your classes. Okay, right? So keep it till the end. Next 4 months, keep it till the end, till the exam, till you have taken the exam and come back to your home. Keep doing, keep going. Don't leave it in between. Okay, right? So now summarizing the things that we learned today: focus on concepts, very important. Give necessary time to all subjects. Take mocks at the right time. We discussed what right time is. And have patience. These 4 things, if you ensure, you would ensure that you give your best and get the best out of yourself in the upcoming Bank PO examinations. Okay? Okay. So that would be all for today. Before we close today's session, just to inform you, we have launched the SBI PO IBPS PO batch 3. For those who are interested in joining and preparing with us, they can enroll for the program. The link could be in the description. Okay. So take care of these things and you would do marvelously well in your this year's exams. All the best.